Coach, you got a few days now. Just, I guess, what are your overall thoughts of how things are going so far with your team?
I think they're excited. I think they're an exciting group. Both have really, both sides of the ball, to me, have really had a high level of buy-in and enthusiasm when they get out there on the field. I think they take coaching very well, and I think a trust level has been established, and then we can continue to move forward with schemes and game planning as we not necessarily go today, but I feel like we have a nice core value system established, and they're doing a nice job, I think. And we waited a long time to hear that sound out there on Rogers putting the pads on, so I think that was another day, another step in, getting closer to playing a game.
Through the last few years, the wide receiving group's been extremely deep. Is that something you expect and see right now? Is that going to continue that strength and depth at that group?
I hope so. There's a lot of guys in there that have had some production. I think there's a lot of guys who are looking at the new offense as an opportunity to prove themselves and learn it and master it and do the best they can with it. So pleased with their effort, that's for sure.
All right, Theo, go ahead.
In the core of the conditions like at practice today, it was pretty windy out here in Spokane. I was just curious if you guys had to kind of go through some wind and rain down there today.
Probably more wet than wind. Seems like we're pretty protected on the practice fields by the building, so I didn't notice the wind being a big factor, but there was some rain.
And then
a lot of the guys, I think, are used to it more than the coaches, So the Wyoming guys are good, but I didn't think it phased our players at all.
Have any of the quarterbacks been maybe more consistent or more effective at moving the offense after 3 days? Can you tell so far?
What did he say?
Any quarterback more consistent than the others first couple of days?
More effective leading the offense?
I don't know if we would be able to say that. I think they've all done some good things. They're all in different, because they aren't all getting in the same situation with each rep. So I think they have to continue to learn from each other. You call them mental reps, but how would they have handled that concept versus that coverage? What would they have done? And so it's hard to say that's probably harder to answer than, at least for me right now, than you may think. So.
All right, Cody from the Evergreen, go ahead.
Coach, going back to kind of that quarterback competition, what is kind of the nature of that competition? Like are they being friendly? Are they helping each other out, or does it seem like they're being a little reserved and cutthroat?
They're not out there. It's not a Royal Rumble out there. You know what I mean? I think they all know it's at stake. I don't think we need to bring it up. I think they all feel like they're in the competition. I don't know if cutthroat's the right word, but it's not ill-spirited. I don't feel that at all. But no, that's pretty evident since no spring. We've pushed off camp a few months. I think they all understand what's at stake. They're not dumb guys. They understand that. I don't think it's mean.
Yeah.
If it's mean, then that's a problem. We got to deal with that before we can allow the competition to continue.
Mm-hmm. And then how has the offensive line looked, through these first couple of days? I know 2 starters are gone. So what's been the nature of kind of that there? And I know Liam Ryan talked yesterday about.
What are you talking about, Cody?
2 starters.
From last year. I got you.
Yeah, and I know Liam Ryan kind of talked about the nature of that group and just every spot's open, everybody's learning kind of how to play all over. So how would you describe that play through the first couple of days?
Well, I think this is a day where you really want to see it on film. This is the first day in pads, right? It's really hard to get a good evaluation as far as the complete play of the line until you get some pads on and see some physicality and see how that goes. With just the helmet, you're looking at, assignment, footwork, a lot of the endo stuff. So probably easier to see after we watch the film tonight.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, Zach from Coug Fan, go ahead.
Coach, assuming you guys had the opportunity to do a full team session today, what did you see as the offensive play of the day and defensive play of the day, if you could kind of describe those a little bit?
I don't know if I have one for you. Offensive play of the day. I thought Bacon made a nice catch late in the practice. Donovan Ollie made a nice play. I think the running backs have, Deion's shown that he has a nice feel for some of the running plays, and that popped. One of those popped pretty good. I think defense was pretty consistent the whole day. The effort is it's a place where you don't have to prod them to go. You kind of got to pull back on the reins with them. So that's a positive mindset in my mind that Jake and the defensive coaches have established. There's a real high standard on effort, and I think our guys have bought into it. So it's, really nice job in the red zone today, 7-on-7 defensively. I think they left the field feeling that they got better and they competed at a high level. So there was a good feeling, probably top to bottom, for the defense today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Rob Jesselson from Spokane, go ahead.
Coach, I'm guessing that you probably have some sort of a mental timeline of how you want the team to look at specific times. I guess my question for you is, what are your thoughts on how the team is looking through the first 3 days of practice? Are they at a point that you would expect? Are they picking up on the new systems?
I think they've picked up on the systems. I think it's going to take a lot more reps for us to execute them at a high level. But their buy-in and willingness has been there since we got here. So, but is there anything specific you want me to talk about? It's hard. It's a little harder than most years to have a timeline of how we want them to look, but we really want them to be, I guess it's the awareness of all the aspects of football, whether it's situational awareness, but practice. The one thing I think that was a question mark for me was how the team was going to practice with pads on. We got to take care of each other? Are we going to have issues with, stuff late after the whistle? And I think the team has a real nice respect for each other in each position group going against each other. There's a real healthy competition now, which is, again, not ill-spirited at this. I hope it never gets to that point, but I didn't sense that at all today.
Did you sense that the energy was heightened maybe a bit in pads, and did it kind of feel like maybe things were kind of getting back to normal?
Yeah, I think it was. I think, how many times, how many different, I don't know if it's times or when we're thinking we're going to get the pads on, we were about 3 or 4 days, I think, before spring ball. Is that right? Maybe a week. Guys were ramping up for spring ball, and then it all got shut down. So I think and for me, it was the sound, but I'm sure for the players, when you put your head through those shoulder pads, you're able to transform into almost a different mindset. It's almost some would call it a vacation. Some might call it a transformation into, the coup they get to be on the field. So I bet that, at least as a player, I just assuming that they went through that too and had appreciated, tying those shoulder pads down and banging on them a little bit.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
All right, Zach Armstrong, go ahead.
Coach, kind of piggybacking off Cody's question with the offensive line, Liam said that all the competition is open, but obviously you do have some returners coming back. When you guys go in full team session, who has been getting the number one reps at the left guard and the center spots?
I don't know if we want to talk about that right now. I know that's what you want, but I don't think we're ready to talk about that yet. You got any other questions you want to talk about? You want to start lineup. I ain't got it right now, so I apologize for that.
All right, last one. Go ahead, Theo.
Hey,
Don't be stuttering, Theo. Come on, spit it out now.
who are you guys kind of looking at the outside receiver spots right now? As far as obviously Calvin Jackson comes back, and then maybe Brandon Gray, Donovan Ollie. Do you guys prefer to have bigger guys on the outside? And I know at Hawaii last year, I think all 4 of you guys were
taking some reps out there too. Jameer's getting some reps out there. But a lot of the names you mentioned, Jay Wilkerson is another one that came in that's getting a bunch of reps outside. But Jameer, Donovan, Mitch, Bacon, those guys are all getting some reps out there.